Well, hello everybody. I'm just working out some technical details at the moment. So give me 1 second. Well, hello everyone. Could I get a confirmation that I am coming through loud and clear, please, from one of my many elves that I have checking my stream quality for me? Anyway, give everyone a second, settle in, make sure you got some tea or a sneezy dog. Jeez. All right. Let's give it one more second here for people to pop on. This was going to be the first outside episode of T3Live of 2023, but it's dumping rain out there, and I didn't feel like going through all the extra work of my. All right, can anybody see and hear me? Anybody? Hi everyone, I'm going to try to fix the lag a little bit. All right. Well, I'm just going to go for it. I think it'll all work out in the end. So anyway, how's everybody doing on this lovely nearly Ides of March? Like as I said, this was I was hoping today was going to be the first episode of T3 Live in 2023 outdoors, but unfortunately, it is dumping outside right now, and I just didn't want to go through the extra effort of rainproofing everything. So next time, I promise, the next episode of T3 Live will 100%, well, I guess I shouldn't say that, planning on being outside. Not to mention the fact that, thank all the gods, it stays lighter later now. Oregon, I love you, but getting dark at 4:30 in the winters is just no good. It's no good for a lot of reasons, especially as a photographer and videographer. You've got about 3 hours of workable daylight. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to the longer days. And, over the last few days, I've been doing a lot of invasive species removal here at the property I live on. And I'm starting to notice the chickweed pop up, and I saw the first few nettles a few days back. So spring has definitely sprung here in the Pacific Northwest. I often say that out of all the places I've lived, um, the Pacific Northwest has the longest spring. Back east, it's just like gray and cold, and then all of a sudden the trees are leafed out and it's green and sunny and spring. Here, spring starts in, according to my calendar, in about the end of January and goes until about July. So, uh, I've loved that I've been able to pick out a whole new set of indicators that I know, how many minutes into spring are we? I would say where I live, we are about, if spring were an hour long, we are about 15 minutes into spring or so, maybe a little bit more. But yeah, it's been been crazy lately. It's uh, being an entrepreneur, trying to start businesses with no business or very little business experience. Has been trying and taxing as hell. And I am so thankful to the few select special group of folks out there, my annoying questions about business and all that stuff. Without you guys, none of this would be really, 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 really appreciate you taking time out of your, precious lifespan to help a knucklehead like me learn how to do things like make my streams better. So thank you cheers to Tova for teaching me a little bit more about OBS and streaming software. Yeah, I apologize for the quality if it's bad. It's we have Starlink, and when the weather gets bad, sometimes it gets kind of crappy. So let's talk about a couple things. The official title of this episode is A Fork in the Road. And I find myself, currently at a fork in the road, on many levels, you know. As I mentioned in my most recent blog post, which I just released the other day, and I'll talk about that here in a minute. Um, yeah, I've had to just, on the fly reconfigure everything. And when you don't know certain skill sets, things that take, somebody who's experienced at them 5 minutes might take me like 2 days of watching videos. It's the same thing when I do bow drill for somebody who's never seen it for the first time. They're like, make it look so easy. And I'm like, well, I have been, using this tool for 40 years. So, yes, I do. But, so, I'm thankful for the folks in my life, both physically and via the interwebs or the phone, who have kept me sane when I wanted to just cut all my hair off and run away into the woods with an axe and a machete and never come out again. um, yeah, thank you so much from the bottom of your heart, bottom of my heart, and I hope to be able to repay the favors one day. Yeah, speaking of social media, so I recently started another YouTube, not a channel, but a playlist. It's meant to be like a daily, I say daily video journal, whereas T3Live is more of a planned out longer episode type deal. Yeah, so pay attention for those, in your social media feed. What I really, really need now, more than anything, support-wise, is for you guys to share my YouTube channel with your friends, and my Instagram, because I don't have any money to market, and word of mouth marketing is the best there is. And also, still, I do not have the ability to do anything with ads on anything Facebook related. Even if I had money to spend on ads and targeted marketing, but I'm still dealing with the fallout of that. I actually last night finally, after, let's see, the incident happened June 22nd. That's a long time ago. I've sent hundreds of emails, and somebody is just finally getting back to me now. And I'm hoping that I can get my original Facebook page restored, because not only did I have, 5,000 friends from over the years, but there were so many photographs in there, photographs of the events, photographs of friends who are no longer amongst the living. I want access to those precious memories back. And also the fact that, that was one of my main marketing tools. When they deleted that page, they deleted access to my business and commerce suite. So I, I don't understand how one of the largest companies in the world cannot have, somebody, pay somebody to like answer the phone or answer an email and help, people running small businesses out. Um, and their algorithm is so hilarious. So when I had everything up and running the way it's supposed to, I would post a new set of photographs, and I would immediately get all these emails from Facebook, that my photos got flagged because they thought I was selling live animals. So I'd post a picture of a snake, garter snake, and it'd get flagged and taken down, and then I'd have to write, a thing as to why it shouldn't be suspended. And it's just absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Like, I heard something they pay tens of thousands of people to monitor content on, Facebook. And yeah, it's the fact that nobody's gotten back to me is ridiculous. So I decided to do the good old fashioned route, get out there, meet people, um, have former students write testimonials for a new part of my website dedicated to private classes. I'll talk about that here in a minute. Um, yeah, so speaking of some of the new things I want to talk about, the first one I want to talk about is the raffle that I am currently running. And I'm actually going to sweeten the deal a little bit. So, I am, as many of you know, um, I love what are known as the throwing arts. So, the ancient, you know, throwing sticks that our ancestors used to, and these ones are actually made out of polycarbonate, but they're still amazingly accurate. But, sticks that were shaped in a particular manner, airplane wing style, right? So, in a survival situation, you just pick up a stick off the ground, you break it to the length of your arm. You want something sturdy, it's not rotted, it's got a little bit of a weight to it, but not so much that you're, can't throw it with some oomph. That even if it's perfectly straight, that round shape isn't very aerodynamic. So very quickly it loses speed and kinetic energy. But a stick like this, like any of these that are airplane wing shaped, I can hit targets with these sticks at 30, 40, and 50 yards. Whereas that most basic of branch that you find on the ground, I don't care how strong you are, you're not throwing that stick more than, 60 feet, and that's pushing it. So, yeah. So, anyway, as I mentioned, I was at a buddy's house and who owns a sawmill, and I was digging through his scrap pile looking for cedar bits for bow drill kits for classes, and I came upon this slab of, I believe it's some species of live oak. It was harvested in a little bit further west in Oregon. A lot of people who live around here, in the rainforest, don't know that pre-colonial intervention, the oak savanna, stretched right up to the edge of the mountain ranges. And, I have to, if I want to see an oak tree in the wild, I have to hop in my car and drive a pretty good distance. So anyway, so being that, that curved shape is perfect for an advanced throwing stick, and knowing how passionate I am about the throwing arts and making throwing sticks, I decided to hold a raffle. So for $20, you get a chance to win a custom, one-of-a-kind piece of functional art that is meant to feed you should you need it. I promise you, just like everything I make, it will be decorated. It will be beautiful. And, just on the other side here, I was just messing around before, but kind of see if you can see, probably kind of hard for you guys to see. Let me get a little closer. You know, I etched a few, just rough outlines of what the stick may look like. I've got a lot of real estate to work with here. There's some cracks in it, but I'll work around those. But regardless, this stick is going to be badass. I can promise you that. So, in order to sweeten the deal, as I said, it's $20. If you go on my website, right at the top, there's a link, a box to click on to buy a raffle ticket. I'm going to throw in a free day of throwing arts instruction. If you live in the area, great. I'll come to you or you come to me. If you live, far away, I will do an online session with you. Because by the time the raffle ends on June 1st, it'll be nice outside and I can record, film outside and give you demonstrations on different types of throws to hang on the wall. That's the hardest thing for me, especially with throwing sticks, because, they hit things, they break. That's, working ancestral skills. You have to be masterful at non-attachment, because you can spend 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 hours working on something only to have it, only it'll have that bow blow up the first time you put an arrow through it. Or you're working on a big spear point and you take one hit, just the wrong angle, and it just breaks into several pieces. So, a bar stock of steel that is made to a certain set of specifications. There's always hidden little cracks and things like that we have to deal with. But this guy, this piece of oak here, has been up in seasoning for years. Um, so it's done all the cracking it's going to do, unless I were to leave it out in the rain, which I would never do to such a beautiful piece of wood. Um, so a couple other things in that zone, in that realm. So yeah, anyway, oh, one more thing. So yeah, the raffle runs until June 1st. And then, yeah, once I have an app that will, believe it or not, there is an app that will go through a digital list of people and pick someone at random. So everybody who's bought the ticket so far, or if you buy one, you get put on this spreadsheet. And then when the time comes, I just hit go, and whatever just picks a name at random. Yeah. And I'm going to be posting videos of, as I said, of me, little video shorts of me working on this over the next few months. Speaking of video shorts, I recently set up a new playlist. I forget what I titled it, but it's like something like my daily journal, you know. It's things that I will record with one of my smaller cameras that I don't have to dump onto a computer and edit, that I can really quickly just do with my phone. Those are just meant to be anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes long. It just kind of a recap of a day that had something special or important happen. I want to share, my journey with you guys. It's been it's been months and months of struggle, and finally, I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Um, I recently had uh, two separate groups of people, and a group of wanted to talk about. One of the most difficult things as an educator, as a nature educator, this being we'll call it a niche market. Um, it it can be hard to fill seats at times, especially the situation I found myself in. I had a schedule that was all set and ready to go, and you know, I thought it was going to be posted at the beginning of the summer, because people who sign up for winter classes around here usually need a little bit of time to think about it. And all of a sudden, I found myself, uh, you know, unemployed with no schedule out. And, I can't, as long as I've been doing this, as known as my name is and my father's name is, I can't post a class for next weekend and expect anybody to attend it. I just don't have that reach yet. The fact that I can't, invest a tiny bit of money into targeted marketing makes it even more difficult. So I'm going to shift the focus of future nature for a while. And I want to focus more on working with individuals, so private classes, one-on-one. I'll come to you. You can come here. I have I live on a beautiful 13-acre property of nearly old growth, meaning it was only cut partially once by the colonizers when they first arrived. So, you can come here for a class. It can be any length of time, you know, and yeah. And I also want to focus on setting up classes for kind of preset groups. Maybe you have a group of friends and, you send me an email, contact me, and we'd get the ball rolling. And I will custom design a program every now because of those stupid shows. Um, there's always been this, kind of derision between schools or where you learned your skills. My master's better than your master. Blah 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 blah. Look, people, out of anybody on the planet, those of us that seek out nature connection and ancestral skills and learn and awareness and learning more about the world around us than the superficial veil that a society that seeks to keep you blind, deaf, and dumb. Um, we're all working towards the same thing, you know. So I want to focus also a lot on collaboration this year. Hence, the classes I ran last year with Adam LaRue at the Sharpening Stone. He and I have a few up on the schedule. I'm going to be collaborating with Rick Barry of 4eee.org. They run a really awesome kids program down in Nevada City, California, and we'll be doing an adult class down there Earth Day weekend called The Way of the Caretaker. And it's basically going to be about everything from how to get your kids into nature and away from the technology to skills that you can apply to make your own life better and become a caretaker instead of a taker. So I'm really stoked about that. I've also got the class with my friend Andrea Kreiner of Red Cedar Forest Therapy. Her and I are actually doing a half day class together. I'm not sure the dates off the top of my head, but Andrea is a forest therapist and knows a lot about the science behind that. Science is finally realizing that humans in nature equals good. uh, yeah, we are not meant to sit on our asses in front of screens all day. We are meant to be outside, rain or shine, wind or snow, you know, combing the landscape, gathering resources so that our life force can continue to the next day, or our group's life force can continue to the next day. Now we sell our time to somebody for an imaginary currency to go buy food, clothes, and shelter. So yeah, I want to work on, establishing connections and building networks of people I know are top-notch educators. If you wrote me an email and you want to learn a skill that I am not confident in being able to give you the experience you desire, I will find, well, I will bring in somebody to teach the class with me who is an expert in that specific field. Everybody thinks, oh, T3 grew up around Tom Brown Jr. He must know how to do everything. No, I don't. You know, my basketry skills suck. uh, you know, I'm a halfway decent flint knapper at best. But, I know how to do I know how to do most of the skills to a point where they're functional, which is all you really need. there's functional, and then there's, taking your tool to that functional art level. So yeah, my students' education is the most important thing to me, and uh, you know, I'll bring in somebody to teach you what you want to know. So yeah, so on my page now, there's two new pages you can click on. One is for the raffle, and the other is for private classes. And in the private classes one, there is a bunch of testimonials. I reach out to people who I've done private classes for over the last couple of years and said, hey, would you mind just writing a blurb so I could put it up on the website? And they were kind enough to do so. And yeah, so go take a look. Um, it's driving force. Um, so we'll come up with something, based on your budget. So yeah, so don't hesitate to reach out, you know, and even if you don't end up doing a private class with me and you don't live around here, I may be able to steer you towards somebody you know, who could teach you the skill or skills you want to learn in the area. Uh, oh yeah, speaking of classes, right now we are, I think, just about a week into the 2 week 15% off all class. That is all classes except for with him. On that, that is such an honor because I've been recommending his book for so many years to beginner plant students. Um, so yeah, that class is the only one that the discount is not good for because it's not technically my class. But I did check with Adam and Rick, and they're fine with having the discount. A few other schedule things. You're going to see some more schedules pop up, some more classes, random classes pop up as the weather warms up and it gets more fun to be outside. Although being outside anytime is fun if you dress properly, wear wool. Um, yeah, so I'll have some more classes coming up, and the last thing I'm going to close with is I am beginning to record sets of lessons that will be purchasable for a very small amount of money. And it will be kind of like a mini master class on a specific skill. So take something, one I'm working on is cordage making. So, in that master class, you'll learn everything from, how to do how to do the reverse wrap to how to process inner bark to get fibers for cordage or woody stock plants or rootlets or any number of things we make rope out of. So, they'll be 2 or 3 hours long somewhere in there. And I'm also going to be focusing on doing online programs that are multi-session. So when they might take place over a couple months, or maybe as long as 9 months. But yeah, as a one human business, it's hard to put get a lot of my ideas to fruition just because it's only me. Speaking of that, I am seeking an intern, somebody in the area who wants to trade instruction for helping me run my business. Uh, I need help. I definitely need help. Um, I would pay somebody if I could, but I can barely afford to eat. Um, yeah. So if you live in the Portland area or Washington and are interested in perhaps trading things like, minor website work, things like that, it's super easy, things I can show you how to do. Contact me through my website. Well, everybody, it is, I don't know what time it is. Let's see here. It's nearing the end of what I had to say for today. I've got to do some cleaning, and I've got some writing and some photo editing to do because I took some awesome photos in the last few weeks. And I also, my tribute to 2022 video will be premiering sometime in the next couple weeks. So I think I'm going to work on that today as well. But I want to thank you all for watching this, whether you watched it for 5 minutes, 1 minute, or you were here for the whole thing. Um, I'm super thankful for that you take time out of your day to listen to me ramble. So yeah, once again, ways, if you want to help me, there's a couple ways you can do so. You can give me $1 million. No, I'm just kidding. You can, when I post things, share them amongst your social media network or like-minded folks, so I can get the word out there. Especially my YouTube and my Instagram as I continue to work out my issues with Facebook. So, all right, y'all. Until next time, stay happy, stay healthy, love one another, hug one another, just be a good human. And most importantly,